Hi everyone, it's Genene. How are you doing on day 2 of your 30-day yoga journey? Yesterday, we worked on adding dimensionality to our breath. So today, let's work on adding dimensionality to our choice, the intention that we made in day 1, that intention to practice yoga for 30 days and then the reasons why. And we'll do that physically by working with standing asanas and twists. And choose to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please remember to click like at the end. You may need a strap and a block for today's practice. They are optional depending on your flexibility. So once you've grabbed your props, your strap, and your block, take a comfortable seat and gently allow your eyes to close. Eyes closed, feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Breathing in and out through your nose. Behind closed lids, return in your mind to your choice and ask yourself, why did I make this choice? Let's add dimensionality to that choice. So the decision I chose to practice yoga for 30 days, that's the first dimension. Now to do that, I'm doing the yoga practice on this video today. That's the second dimension, the area of my choice. But what is bringing me back to my mat every day for 30 days? What's the volume? This is usually why you succeed or fail. So perhaps right now you make a commitment to yourself to take time today, at least 10 to 15 minutes, to explore this third dimension of your choice. How? I'll give you some suggestions down in the description down below. 3 different ideas for you. Doing all 3 to be more powerful, so that you can come up with that volume for your practice. Physically today, we'll focus on our standing asanas, to stand in the choice that we've made. Gently allow your eyes to open, and let's come to all fours. Inhale, right arm off to the side. Exhale, slide the right arm underneath the left. And then you're keeping your hips even here, okay? And you're twisting the belly and the heart and the head, literally putting the ear to the floor. Left hand can push the floor away as you twist further. Inhale, untwist, go the other side. Exhale, twist. What are you learning as you do this? What are you feeling? Can you feel the separation of the lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine? Inhale, untwist, hands and knees. Grab your strap. And come up to standing with a loop, little loop or not. I'm going to use a loop around my foot here. So you grab a chair if you need to, because this is balancing. Okay, standing. What we did lying down, we're going to do it standing. Ekahasta Padangustasana, Padangustasana. So stand firmly on one leg. Gaze at something that's not moving. This left thigh bone, I'll tell you now, is going to want to jut forward and your core just goes fast asleep. And so you're weakening the core and we want to strengthen. Engage your pelvic floor muscles, outer hips in, tailbone forward, pubic bone backward, everything lifting upward. Then gaze at something that's not moving. And you're going to have your arm nice and straight with your strap. You can always grab your foot, grabbing the big toes with first two fingers, and then straighten. The right leg goes straight out in front of you. Outer right hip rolls down, lift the waistline up. So stay there. You're using your hand, first two fingers, grabs the big toe, and same thing. Feel your convictions holding you steady here. There's a sense in between all the movement of peace, of stillness, of utter possibility. Release that leg. Tadasana, stand still. Let all the energy rush down your legs. Switch sides, either wrapping the strap or fingers grabbing big toe. Set yourself up first. Instead of throwing your leg up and hoping for the best, let it be a strategy where you're so prepared that it's no big deal to lift the leg. So then, firming pelvic floor, gazing at something that's not moving, staring that's your entire universe as you lift your left leg up. Let yourself wobble if you need to wobble. And feel that balance. From the center of your pelvis, you're drawing down the leg, rooting into earth, down the tailbone, and at the same time rising up, crown of head meeting the sky. Notice your breath, still flowing freely, maybe a little faster than it was before, that's it. This is a practice. This is not a perfect. Release. Strap goes out of the way. Grab your block if you're using a block and put it to the right of your mat, behind, like that. Take a nice wide stance. Measure yourself off. So inhale, arms out to the sides. Draw a straight line from your wrist down to your ankle. And if you have long legs, you got to go wider. I know, it's so fair. Lift the left ball of your foot up. Turn the foot in. Lift the ball of the right foot up. Turn it out 90 degrees. You're using the power in your feet to keep you stable, steady. Lift up through the center of your arches in your feet. Inhale, arms out to the sides. And then take your right hand down, left arm up. And you're going to get to use your obliques to lengthen. Instead of collapsing, lengthen through the rib cage. Right shoulder blade on the back, left shoulder blade on the back. Your gaze can be either out in front of you. It can always be down at your right foot. Only if your cervical spine, this is your neck part, which is really mobile, if it feels okay, you can look at your left hand. If that doesn't feel good, then you do not do it. And as you're breathing here and hanging out and finding that thing that you can stare down, just like we did in the standing on one leg balance, you're listening to what's going on in your spine. And oddly enough, what's going on in your limbs can tell you a lot. If you're dropping your head, your cervical spine will say, owie, owie. If you're rolling your shoulder forward, then your upper back muscles, the muscles around your upper back will go, see little things. Inhale, come up. Exhale, other side. So right foot turns in, left foot turns out. Change the block. And let's see how this side's doing. So strong legs here. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand down, right hand up. And then noticing too what's going on in your lumbar spine as you lengthen up out of it. So instead of dumping down into the hips, lifting up. So lifting your whole torso up and then turning the belly and the heart. And scooping your left hip under. So let your glutes help you in this pose. And then out of that, get more length coming out of the spine. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn the left foot in, right foot out. Go to side one, but we're going to do it differently. Actually, take the left leg forward. We'll come this way. So Tadasana, step the left leg back. Make sure you've stepped back far enough, but you'll see that our hips are pointing sort of forward. The left foot is pointed out about 15 degrees. We're going into Pravrita Trikonasana or revolved triangle, but we'll modify it today. So grab your block if you need it and put it to the inside of your right foot. So usually we go to the outside. That's more intense. We'll go a little less intense today. So inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, bow forward halfway. So focusing on those curves in the spine to start. So you've got the 4 curves in your spine. It's in neutral as it can be because your legs are not symmetrical. So therefore, your pelvis will be not symmetrical. Then left hand down, then right hand to right hip. Just turn the belly and the heart to the right, and then the head. Take your hand to your low back, making sure that you didn't collapse there or you didn't move it in some bizarre way. Like it likes to move to the right because then you're not twisting anymore. So instead, let the work be that belly twisting. Get that lumbar spine and thoracic spine. And then the cervical spine gets to follow. Then if you feel comfortable, take the right arm up to the sky. If that felt nope, then keep it there. You can keep it to your outer right hip to remind that right hip to move into the midline. It's like it's giving your body a big hug of support. Exhale, lower down. And holding these on purpose to build strength. Right foot turns in, left foot turns out 90 degrees. And see, does it challenge your mind to have to hold a pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow. So taking that time to set up so that the next bit is really easy. Right hand comes down. It can always come down to the floor if it's there for you. This hip is wrapping back. The left hip is wrapping back behind you. Then you turn from the belly and the heart. Keep the hand on the hip, hand on the low back then. To feel that it's not, this side isn't just dropping. The right side is not dropping here. Staying lifted. Then add the arm when you're ready. So not at the expense of anything else. If you suddenly feel a crank in your neck, look to above and below and feel if that feels okay. Because that's what's going to compensate. And then exhale, release. And then come back to center, bring your legs together, Tadasana. No block. All of that tearing apart actions that we did, how do you feel now? Can you find center? Come down to lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Moving bridge, moving Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Feet are facing forward. They're going to want to turn out. So notice now that they're underneath in line with your hips. Other things, sometimes you put your feet way too far out. You can try this. Put your feet way too far out and then try to lift your hips. And your hamstrings have to do a lot of work. If you take your heels in too close, then your knees are going to go past your big toes and then you'll get stuck that direction. So Goldilocks, just right. And once you've got all that, focusing on what the spine is doing. So, not lifting up with the middle of the back first, and the shoulders are, I don't know where they are. I lost my shoulders. And then not just lifting the low back and just staying there. I mean, you could do that. That's something else when you're just working the glutes. You would just lift the low back. But this one, we're going to lift the entire back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. So we're not going that far here, really. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Take a breath here. Now these next ones, you have the opportunity to go deeper. This one very particularly, you're going to turn it into, let it be a back bend. So you're going to, once you lift up, inhale, everyone lift up. Now you can keep going, curling, bring the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart, bringing the heart closer towards the chin, but the chin isn't moving, see, here, more movement in the back, and then more extension, more back bending, arms by the sides, and then exhale, lower down. Let's move that. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and keep that balance of the spine is bending, but it has still length, so it's not collapsing into any part of the spine. And then inhale, lift here. Option to clasp the hands, drawing the shoulder blades a little further under. Lengthen the tailbone towards your knees. Push down through the feet. Exhale, lower everything down. Breath here. And then cross right ankle over left thigh for this figure 4. Shin to your chest. So you grab with your hands the front of your shin or with your strap. Protect your shoulders. You don't want to pull the shoulders, the arm bones out of their sockets to get a hip opener. And release. Switch sides. Release that leg. Release your strap. Draw your right knee into your chest. Stretch your left leg long. Roll onto your right outer hip. A gentle twist here. Inhale, center. Straighten that leg. Left knee into chest. Roll onto right outer hip. Left hand can be on the ground to push yourself over. You're all the way on your hip here. Let the opposite shoulder do what it needs to do. It's working its way towards earth. Noticing where you feel the most mobility in your spine and what, just getting a little more familiar with what your spine tends to do and what you need a little bit more of. And that's what this week is about. Inhale back to center. Both knees into chest. Imagine this is you giving yourself a big hug. So let it be easy. Let your arm weight draw the knees in rather than cranking yourself into this like, I am going to, I don't know, get a gold medal if my knees go actually into my ribs. No. Feel all the love and tenderness towards yourself for taking the time for your practice. And then release your legs, Shavasana. Taking the time to incorporate all of the work that you did. This is the nourishment. This is the balance of all the activity with this moving into stillness, where you get out of the way and let Shavasana do its work for you. Close your eyes gently. With every exhale, let your body grow heavier. Feeling where your body connects with earth and letting it. You may stay here longer or deepen your breath. Make small movements with your body, wiggling fingers, toes, rolling your wrist joints, your ankles. Choosing to either stretch your arms overhead and pointing through your toes or not. Exhale your arms back down by your sides, bending your knees, roll onto your right side. And take a few moments here, transitioning slowly. Press yourself up to a seated, cross-legged position. Closing your eyes, check in with yourself, with how you're feeling. Fold your hands together in front of your heart. Noticing the curvature of your spine. And maybe here adjusting based on what you could feel now, the subtleties that you had to get a little quiet for. Taking this moment at the end of practice to feel the gratitude for all that your spine does for you, the support that it gives because it curves. Able to bear more weight. Able to be so strong and so mobile. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon, tomorrow. Namaste.